So in this video, I wanted to show how to set up a laravel project on a computer where you might not have PHP installed. It's increasingly difficult these days, it seems, to keep up with the version of PHP on your local distribution of Linux. It used to be quite simple to install LAMP and create an environment where you've got PHP installed, but on Ubuntu especially now you have to add special PPAs, which I think is Odre, and it's only supported and maintained by one person. But what you do have is a Docker Composer package, which allows you to install a Laravel application from your host without needing to have the correct PHP version installed. So for example, I've created a little README here. On this host, what we're going to do is use the Composer package on Docker Hub to run the Composer Create project. Normally you'd do this locally on your local machine, but then you'd have to have PHP installed locally, which you might not have, or you might have the wrong version. Doing it this way allows you to stay up to date and use the latest PHP version and keep up to date with security patches and things like that. So I'll quickly go through what this command is doing and then we'll run it. Okay, so docker run, rm means that remove the container after it's ran. What we're doing is we're passing as a volume our current directory, and then the container which runs is based on the composer image, which is on Docker Hub, and then we're just going to run the create project command, which is on Laravel's documentation. So if we go to Laravel's documentation, okay, so what we're doing is doing the create project command. As I say, normally you'd do this locally on your own machine, but what we're doing here is we're using Docker to run the same command. And again, that container that it's using is the one on Docker Hub. So if we go to Docker Hub, Docker Hub, okay. So rather than you running Composer locally on your machine, we're using a Composer Docker image to do what we'd normally do. So I'm going to press enter now, and what this will do, it will create a new project called blog and pull all of the requirements for the blog. So at the moment you can see that my directory is empty. There's just the readme file, but after this is ran, the composer image will run the create project command, pull all of the composer dependencies and put them into our blog directory. Okay, great. Now that's completed, we can see that the composer command has run to completion. Inside the directory now, we have our Laravel application. So just as you would normally have if you run this locally on your host machine, you have the standard Bootstrap Hello World Laravel application that you're used to, with all the normal dependencies. And inside the vendor directory, all of the packages have been pulled. So the next step is to create a Docker file which allows you to run this locally. Again, without needing to install PHP on your host machine, you can just package it up inside a Docker container, and then your environment is getting closer and closer to what production might look like, and that's really important, to be as close to what production looks like as possible. So the next video, the next step, will be to create that Docker file. I've already made a start on that as an example. If we go in here and look at the Docker file, blog Docker file, where did I put it? I've lost it. There it is, Docker file. So what we do is we pull from PHP, which at the time of doing this video is one of the latest versions of PHP, and we run composer install, And then as a new container layer, we take the PHP 7 full image